Okay, so let's do a problem now. Um, this is kind of like you can put on your hat as like a s- con artist and think about internal controls from that perspective of, hey, if I were trying to defraud, because now that they have these like these ethical hackers. Does anyone know about this? It's like if you're like skilled in computer hacking, you work for a cybersecurity company and you try to hack into a system to show where the vulnerabilities are, right? And then you're going to help the company to patch those up. Okay, so you can think of this exercise like that, where you're going to be given some situations and you got to think about what controls were kind of like not in place, and think about what the fraud risk is. Okay, so this is the first one, 7-25. You're given um, a bunch of scenarios here, and you're gonna have to basically describe what the internal control weakness is, um, identify what possible problem it could cause, and propose a solution. Okay, so this is like a little real world practice in internal control situations. Okay, so why don't you start reading through these, thinking about what the issues are, and we can talk about it as a class. Okay, so the first one, uh, Creative Solutions Applications develops custom programs for customers specifications. Recently, development of a new program stopped while the programmers redesigned a accounting system. The accountants of the company could have performed this task. So, what is the violation here? What is the internal control? Not necessarily for fraud, but for something else. What do you think? Assignment of responsibilities, exactly. The the software developers, their job is to earn revenue for the business and like make software for clients. And in order to do something that another set of employees could have done, they stopped that. Uh, they stopped their revenue generating function to do this internal project. Okay, so it could have been that if the accountants couldn't do it and they needed the software programmers to do it, then it could have been justified. But the fact that the accountants could have done it, it's just an inefficiency, right? They lost revenue generating opportunity because they just didn't have clear assignment of responsibilities. Okay, the next one. Ken has been your trusted employee for 24 years. He performs all cash handling and accounting duties. He just purchased a new car and a new home. You wonder how he can do this given that his salary is only $30,000 a year and it's his only source of income. Yeah, separation of duties, right? He's able to do the accounting and the cash handling. Um, do you think that this other stuff is related about him buying a luxury car and all that? It's all circumstantial evidence. He could have family money or something. But the fact that he's doing this may raise some suspicions. But it's your business is just making a mistake by allowing the possibility of the embezzlement to happen, and that's really a violation of this separation of duties. Okay. Um, okay. Next one. Mickey Hardwoods, a private company, falsified sales and inventory figures in order to get an important loan. The loan went through, but the this borrower went bankrupt and could not repay the bank. So from the bank's perspective, what did the bank do wrong? And we have our list here. What do you think they could have done from here? Audit, right? Yeah. So basically, what happened was this borrower presented some poorly uh, some financial statements that were not really legit. Okay, and you would hope that if you told the borrower, hey, I can only accept audited financial statements, that a third-party auditor would have caught the fact that um, this information was falsified, or this borrower would have just been like, well, they're asking for something. I know my books are fake, and so I'm not even going to apply for the loan. Right? One of those two things could have happened. It could have been that they hired an auditor and like kind of conspired with them to kind of get an audited set of financial statements, but that would be much harder than the other two options. Okay, internal auditor of this company recently notified the company that its sales receipts documents were not pre-numbered. The owner replied that the company has never used receipt numbers. Yeah, documentation. Okay. They having numbered receipts, you can tell if one is missing. You can tell, yeah, basically it's a way to see if anything's missing and your set of information is complete. Okay. Um, discount store makes most of their sales in cash with the remainder in credit card sales. To reduce expenses, one store manager ceases purchasing Fidelity bonds from the cashiers. Fidelity bond is like an insurance policy, you can say, that will protect against theft if one of your employees steals cash from the drawer. So this one's a little weird. It's other. Okay, it doesn't really fit within any of these other ones. But by saving the cost of this insurance product, you're exposing your business to that theft risk. But of course, this is going to be subject to our cost benefit analysis, right? Maybe there's not that much cash in the register, and maybe the Fidelity bonds are expensive. Okay, so you would have to know both those pieces of information to really say with certainty whether this was a bad decision or not. Okay, uh, Lewis Corndog keeps all cash receipts in an empty box for a week because the owner likes to go to the bank on Tuesdays when it's most convenient. So is that smart to do, to keep the cash from your business in just the box for a week? No. Why? What could happen? Yeah, it can get stolen. It can get lost. Usually, cash businesses have some have like multiple times a day, an armored car will come and pick the cash up. Okay, so yeah, leaving cash sitting around is a big risk. Or if you leave your business with the cash at a certain time every day, right? Robbing an armored vehicle is obviously like pretty risky. Those guys are armed, and you're probably gonna be a professional bank robber if you're gonna try to pull that off. But robbing a small business owner who's just like depositing the cash themselves, that's definitely possible.